That was the car locking. It's keyless entry and keyless close as well. You walk away from the car with the key in your pocket, car shuts itself, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Now this vehicle isn't new into stock, you'll be surprised to know. We've had it a couple of months, mostly because we've been running around in it ourselves. It's very, very economical and it's zero road tax as well. But also, partly because John and myself are dinosaurs of the motor trade. This car, 10 years ago, you looked at it and you thought that's a pitch car. There's auto trader cars and there's pitch cars. Some cars sell off the pitch, some cars will sit there forever and only appeal to a few people, and you need to advertise them. So they cost you more to advertise, they cost you more to sell. This car wouldn't last a weekend 10 years ago, but it's a different thing now. And also, what's different is if you advertise it on Auto Trader, we have had it on Auto Trader, but unfortunately, because it's one of the cheaper cars and we've got other cars to worry about, more expensive ones, we've not done the job properly, which means we've not advertised it properly, we've not put the description on Auto Trader, we've not put the service history on, and also we've not done a video, we've not done proper photos. And there are cars, well, there are Renault estates with high mileage or higher mileage than normal that will just be absolute wrecks and not worth 500 quid. And then there's this, and the only way you can get it across to a customer is by really a video and a video test drive, which is, I needed a car to go to the airport the other day, Saturday morning, to take my mate to the airport. And I thought, well, this will be ideal, it's taxed and there's plenty of room in it. And on the way there, I thought to myself, well, you know, it's a £3,000, less than £3,000. It drives every bit as good as a 12 grander or a 15 grander. It's up to 88 miles per gallon, I think, zero road tax. It's got great tyres on it. It's belonged to a company. I think originally it was a Renault demonstrator and then it belonged to a company. And we buy a lot, hopefully we buy all the cars off this company and also the vans too, so we know them and we know the service. But this vehicle is exceptional. It's got a full service history and it's really tidy. There's a couple of scratches on it, and to be honest, the scratches aren't that bad, but if it didn't have the scratches, then it'd be a 3495er. And to be fair, you can hardly notice the scratches, and it probably won't make any difference to the person who's going to buy it. Probably for a second car, probably for a kid bus or so on. But I'll just show you around it, and I'll also try and point out, because the last thing we want, you see, with a pitch car, you don't have to do a description because the people come, they roll up on your forecourt and they look around it themselves. With a car where potentially we have people coming from all over the country, we like to try and point out its faults, if any, or its defects, its paintwork problems. So I'll probably be hypercritical with this, because the last thing I want is you to turn up at our forecourt and say, oh, well, you never told me about this. You know, I've just driven for 2 hours. And so here we go. First of all, I'll show you under the bonnet. Sorry. No, first of all, I'll tell you what it is. Okay, it's a Renault Megane 1.5 dCi Eco Dynamique TomTom. It's a stop-start, it's a 5-door, 1461cc, 2012 on a 62 plate, although it was obviously a bonus car. The dealer registered it to get his end-of-year bonuses. I've been in the same position many times myself. So it was registered on the 31st of 12th, 2012. Now, fuel economy is phenomenal, really, and you never get these figures, to be fair, but you'll get somewhere near them. So, urban, 72.4, extra urban, 88.3, and combined is 80.7. 0-60 time of 12.4 seconds, top speed of 118 miles per hour, so it doesn't hang about either. It's 110 brake horsepower and a 16 valve engine, zero road tax. We'll be putting 12 months MOT on it as well. It's MOT until the 28th of November 2019, but we'll be doing it. And it was the last service that on the 14th of the 3rd 2019 to 128,006 miles. car's now done 129,000. Well, I'll tell you exactly, because as I say, we've been running around in it. So it's 0 road tax as well. I'll just show you under the bonnet. Put this away. Now, bearing in mind that this car has done 130,000 miles. Sorry about that, it locked as I was walking away. That would probably get on my nerves. Anyway, as you can see under the bonnet, it's all nice and clean. Lance has cleaned it, but as you can imagine, £3,000 car, we don't go to as much trouble cleaning it as a £30,000 Range Rover, and yet it still looks like this. So it's been very, very well looked after. We've got a bit of a dent and a chip in the bonnet there, and a couple of other chips, but again, nothing too major. And bearing in mind, as I say, we've priced it at 500 quid less than we would normally price it. Going around the car, it's got alloy wheels, all good tyres on, all the same make. We've got the roof bar carrier system, and here the sill protectors and the bottom of the door protectors. As I say, it's keyless entry as well. There's a little switch on the door to, as you walk up to the car, press it and you can just get in if you've got the key on you, or the car will lock itself, or you can click the little black button. So now I'm also using this at the moment. I went to a car show yesterday, so it's got all my waterproof gear. It was throwing it down, as you can imagine, and it's got my camera gear in. I took my mate to the airport, 2 big suitcases, a rucksack, and his girlfriend's hand luggage, which is probably, well, it's a fair amount. So bags of room, seats split independently of each other in a kind of 60-40 configuration. You've got that load cover there. It's a nice flat load area, so it's ideal for dogs as well. And I'll just show you in the back. Oh, there is a small ding just there, but we've just bought a new glue puller at the garage, so probably John and myself will have a bash at that. So it may look better, it may look worse. Keep my fingers crossed. So lots of room in the back here. Crikey. Just once you've got the headrest up, the seat backs are high enough for an adult. You've also got the Isofix rear child seat anchor points, and we've got a rear armrest here. There is plenty of room. Airbags in the B pillar, and these handles. What's that? Oh right, sorry. That's for a cargo net as well. So it's so tidy in the back here. Honestly, you just wouldn't think the car had done the mileage it's done. So it's real good value. If you're only doing low mileage a year, then it's an ideal car to buy, and it will certainly bring your depreciation into line. If you bring the mileage back, it's not going to lose a whole lot of money. Well, it can't lose a whole lot of money, can it? The most it can lose is £3 grand. Now there's a fairly light scratch here, which goes from there to there. Not continuous, but I'll put a photo or a bit of video in the description just to show you that. Again, you can get your finger in it. It's not too bad, but you can see it. And also, there's a scratch here, just there. And apart from a little bit of wear on the driver's seat, then that's really it. So it's keyless entry. That's just the bit of wear there on the edge of that seat, but anybody handy with a needle and thread, or you can have it repaired for about 30 or 40 pounds. Okay, we've got these key cards, the Renault key cards, which slot in the dash here, and then there's a start button. we've got height and reach adjustable steering wheel. It has got a full service history. The first few services were by Renault. I will cut the service history into this video here. One of the services the garage hasn't put the date on, so we will try and track that down. But it's everything ties up. And as I say, I went to Manchester Airport in this vehicle the other day, and it was the first time I'd driven it. John's used it a few times, and he said it's a good car, and I was pleasantly surprised, really. It is so economical. I put some more fuel in. There wasn't very much in. I put some more fuel in to go to Manchester Airport, and I got back, and I could have gone with it nearly on reserve and got back okay. So clutch is nice, gearbox is nice. It's great specification. The aircon works. The aircon button's there. That's fine. All the seats, as I said, the only bit is the driver's seat that's just worn on the edge. It's got a nice dashboard display. It's a digital in the centre there. There's a little information panel on the right there, which it was just telling me range. It's still got 70 miles left, and I've used it all weekend. Average fuel consumption, fuel used. Obviously I can't press the end of the wiper stalk in there to change the display without switching the wipers on, because I'm ham-fisted. Just take you for a short drive in it. Nice and clean under the engine. The body works nice as well, or nice and bright. As I say, it's just got a couple of imperfections. To recap on those, there's a larger than normal chip in the bonnet, which is also a tiny dent. There is a little trolley ding on the rear tailgate, and there's two small scratches on the driver's side rear door and the driver's door. But apart from that, as you can see, it's zero road tax for a start. So a nice 5-seater family estate car like this, very economical, good condition. That's going to save you, well, on something else probably, a couple of £100 a year for the road tax. Doesn't need tyres, they're all like brand new. Again, that's going to save you a couple of £100 a year. It's doubtful you're going to get something for $3,000 that's not going to need any tyres, or it's just been serviced, so it doesn't need servicing. It all points to great value for money. And if it is a second car, or you've got a big gas guzzler that you use during the week, or a big gas guzzler that you want to use at weekend, and save your main car to weekend and use this to commute to work, it's absolutely ideal. Cruise control, which we'll test in a short while. We've also got the TomTom sat nav, Bluetooth hands-free, Bluetooth audio streaming. In fact, if I just turn it on, let's just of course, as usual, when I want the lights to be on red, they're not. Very nippy engine. There you go, that's it has one of those volume controls, the stupid clutch type ones, where the faster you try and turn the song off, the less it actually moves. I mean, who invented that? It's just probably somebody who listens to rap music, I would think. It's stupid idea. Anyway, it's got CD radio. That was playing music from my telephone, from my iTunes. So you've got Bluetooth hands-free as well. The sat-nav is an easy-to-use TomTom sat-nav. You've got USB in there. Now the sat-nav is an SD card, so I assume, rightly or wrongly, that you can also update the TomTom sat-nav just with the SD card. I've had a TomTom sat-nav for years, which every year they email me to say that they'll do me a deal on the new software. So I would think that's constantly updatable. We'll check all the windows and make sure they work. And the door mirrors. Let's just, right, we'll start with windows. Yeah, that works. That works. That works. Better change gear. That one works too. And then we've got the door mirrors. So they're all working fine. There's say nothing really to spend on the car. We'll get it MOT'd for 12 months. Just really good value for money. Got this lovely kind of checker plate inset to the dash there, aluminium effect around the vents and also on the steering wheel. Now I'll just try. Here we have a switch. I'm assuming that is cruise control or speed limiter. So I don't like speed limiter. We'll put cruise control on. I think there's been a bit of controversy about speed limiters as well. If obviously if you're at the range of the speed limiter, you've got it set to 70 and you need to get past an obstacle quickly or pull out quickly, then I'm afraid you've had it. You can override cruise, but not the speed limiter. So let's right, now I've finished talking. That's 67, 68, 69, and I've done my usual trick. And now caught up to the traffic. I'm not going to be able to do I might be able to here, just get up to 70 quickly. No, I'm afraid I'm going to have to, oh hang on, 68 miles an hour in 6th gear. We're doing just less than 2,000 revs, and the cruise control works. There we go, set the cruise control and that's going. We did have a kind of green quadrant lit up there. I'm not sure whether that's for economy. There is a switch over here, it is stop start. First thing I'd advise you to do is knock the stop start off. It's a stupid idea, in my opinion. I'll show you how to pair a mobile to the system in a short while, how to delete one, how to stream audio and how to set the sat nav. But as you can see, motorway speeds nice and quiet, no bumps, bangs or knocks, no rattles, no shakes when we're braking, nothing from the back end, nothing from the front, so all the discs are okay. And it's everything I'd expect from the firm we bought it for. We bought 3 of these and we sold 2 straight away. The 2 we sold straight away, we'd got customers looking for not exactly a runabout, but a nice nice family car, and they fit the bill, so they went out straight away. This one, as I say, we haven't really done anything, otherwise it would have sold by now. And I'd be very surprised if, as soon as we've got the photos up and the description and the video, that this one doesn't sell. It's just that these days nobody comes to the pitch. Everybody, even people 2 or 3 doors up, search on the internet, usually via Auto Trader. So it's our pitch is surplus to requirements, really, and hopefully in the next few months, John and myself will be trained semi-retirement and working from home. So we'll see how that goes, but we'll just be doing exactly the same, prepping the cars exactly the same. We have been trying to move to appointment only, and if we can do that, we'll be doing appointment home only from home, but you will still get the same backup, the same service, the same warranty, the same 2 people dealing with you. If you're lucky, you'll get John, and if you're not, you'll get me. Nice front central armrest here. All these controls here. It's a bit complicated, but it's like anything else. Once you've learned how to do it, you should have no problems. Now we'll just get up to a little bit of speed here, where we can load the steering on this nice series of shallow bends. Just changing the weight from side to side. Listening for any complaints from the suspension. None there, straight through, and drives lovely. Renault to produce one of my favourite cars of all time, the original Renault Alpine, and now Alpine have kind of brought out the same design, a bit like Fiat, and captured the same lines. I'd absolutely love one, and I think that's only a 1.8, but still goes like the clappers. Renault engines are used in a few vehicles, and a couple of Nissans as well, I think. So they've certainly come on. Lorry parked in my first sat-nav demonstration spot. So anyway, I'll finish the test drive shortly. Car drives great value for money. You could spend 2 or 3 times more on a vehicle than this and still not get a better car. It's done 130,482 miles, and honestly you just wouldn't think so. It's nice, everything's nice and tight on it, and it's just been well serviced. And of course, the last thing a company car is the rep or whoever having downtime, being sat at home while the car's serviced. So this firm really they make sure the vehicles are kept very clean and looked after. Okay, so there you go.